Hey guys, Grassman here. Welcome to Ants and Mantis. This game also doesn't have volume. I don't know why people just can't just like throw in some music. So there's manual. So they have a lifetime. So this is a game about ecosystems. It's a short little game. There's a lot of bad reviews on it. I think there's probably a lot of people were saying like it loads up and then it crashes, which I've not had a problem with. So I assume there's some other platform issue. But I'm using a Samsung like S7, so Samsungs seem to work. So you should try this game out because it's quite fun. So there's honey, which naturally spawns, produces 20 honey per second in nature. Got no lifetime, and it doesn't eat anything. It's food. Ants have 7 lifetime. They eat the honey, and eating 2 honey and cloning. They eat 2 honey and then clone one more, another ant. There's the mantis, who also lives 7 seconds. They eat ants, bees, and queen ants, and eating 5 insects clones 1 more as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you get 2. The honeycomb doesn't have a lifetime, it just spawns 7 things. It's a spawner, it spawns bees. So it'll spawn 7 bees, produces a bee per 7 seconds. So 49 seconds, 1 bee per 7 seconds. And it just doesn't eat anything. It'll just produce bees. That's cool, it like flies off the screen. Bees. No lifetime, so they don't die, but they can be eaten. They can be eaten by mantises. They eat flour.
You want any spaghetti too?
We're having pizza tonight. So, bee. No lifetime limit. It eats flowers and drops 2 honey per second. So it produces honey. The flower has no lifetime and doesn't eat anything. Eating a flower, eating a flower clones a bee. What was I gonna say? You can only get flowers by like actually getting them, so it allows you to like kind of change stuff. The stag beetle. Oh, is that what a stag is? No lifetime limit. That doesn't look like the thing. That does kind of look like the thing from Hollow Knight. So it eats everything except the spider. And it also eats flowers, and then the spider eats everything but flowers, including the stag beetle. Come up every regular stage. It just eats everything. It's like it's an enemy, sort of. Spiders getting smaller and less feeding. So spiders shrink unless they eat something. So they eat those things and then they shrink if they don't have anything to eat. Queen ant, again, eats honey, and those ones have no lifetime. Eats honey, no lifetime, breed 5 ants after eating a honey. So queen ants are really good. So the goal is to keep the ants and mantis population in balance. So the goal is to keep the ant and mantis so honey pops up, ants eat it, and the mantises eat ants, and that's the main bit of it. And then there's also the queen ants there's queen ants to produce more ants. There's honeycomb and bees, and flowers for like extra honey stuff. Only problem is the mantises eat the bees, so it's really hard to sustain a bee population. And the stag beetle is just the enemy, and the spider is the thing you can use to get rid of the stag beetle. Oh, there we go, there is music. Seems kind of loud, actually. Let me know how like, the volume is. I don't know if we'll do more of this, but... And then after, it's every couple of seconds... So yeah, you can see there's a sort of pattern here. So after every couple of seconds, you get to choose, new stuff. Preview? This is what it looks like. My best was 36 years, so I have played this game for a bit. So... I guess a honeycomb's fine here.
Not blessed by RNG.
Ads. There are an annoying amount of ads in this game. They are very short, though, so... And then the map size increases every so often. So the mantises do have the problem of they need to eat a lot. And then you get to see what happens, how much things went up by. So adding the honeycomb, the mantises, everything went up. To add another honeycomb... So the bees are up by the top, and the mantises are down by the bottom. This actually works out pretty well. So everything is still increasing. I'll just add more honeycomb. But now watch what's going to happen. We're going to have the problem if there's too many mantises. So so the mantises have stayed steady, and the ants are still going up, 163. So I'll add in some flowers. Again, add, but it's 5 seconds. It's not too much of a problem, luckily. We got tons and tons of ants up top, bees all over the place, feeding them for more ants. And this is actually preferable. So the mantises are all down below, so their population is like sustained but not growing too much. The ants are growing like crazy, and the bees and the flowers are just able to. The bees are making extra stuff for the ants. So this is actually quite the good ecosystem, and my phone is starting to lag now. Things are still rising. More honeycomb. The bees are producing things for the ants are producing lots of extra guys, and the ants are stinging the mantises. But now we have 20 mantises. So the ants have dropped by 70, and the mantises have gone way up. Get some flowers in here. Oh, sponsored by this one, too. Great. Now look, so now that the mantises have started moving out, the mantises are up tons, and the ants are just getting destroyed. And the bees too. We're down to 64 ants, and the mantises are dropping too now. So pick up another honeycomb. So yeah, there's a couple bees down at the bottom. But as you can see, everything dropped, and now the mantises are starting to die out too. So that's kind of the cycle of the ecosystem. There's lots of things one year, and then there's and then they really drop the next year, or they change one after the other. I find it's best to not mess with the ecosystem of the ants and the mantises too much, because like 5 mantises makes a big difference. 10 ants doesn't make that big of a difference, and like 10 ants is really only good because there's no problem with like too many ants. You just have to make sure the mantises don't die out. So the spider. So now see, I'm gonna get a spider because there's one of those guys. So we have to just keep rolling the spider until he appears over top of that guy or near enough that that guy will walk into him. So that guy's a huge problem. There we go, so he's eating him now. So now... Oh, those bees are just walking into the mantises. The mantises are getting kind of low. They're down to 6. But everything is kind of low right now. So... Add, huh? There's no music even. Like, just put music with your ad at least. Where's the... Oh, that's horrible. They put a random dark spot to the right of the screen, so that you think it's dirt and you want to, like, clear it. It seems to be about 10 to 12 seconds or so that the, time is. So I'll just keep getting honeycomb for the bees for more ants. So now that the mantises are all over the map, it starts getting harder, because now you can't get, like, hundreds sustained, because they're just moving around too much. But just more honeycomb for more bees, for more ants, pretty good. Queen ants are also very good, but they do get eaten by mantises, and they're bigger, queen ants. So I'll get one now, and we'll see if I even get a chance. Yeah, here's that thing again. Here's this same game. Skip ahead. There's a queen ant. So when she gets food, she produces 5 ants. So you'll just see her like erupt in ants sometimes. And now the ant population is soaring because of her. Doubled. Everything doubled. I'll get another one. Again, the problem is they can be eaten by mantises. And see now, oh god, oh my god, look at what the mantises have done to the top right. Oh, and it's immediately dead. The queen ant spawned in the top right and immediately died. There are so many mantises now and very few ants. So it's a very interesting simulation game. So it seems like every, like, 10 years or so, one of the stags spawns. The ants are getting out and more multiplying now. So the mantises ate too many ants, and then they all died off. Circle of life. And it's very interesting. It is a very interesting game. I think I had a queen there. I think it must have spawned like the top right and immediately died. It's a little annoying that the mantises eat, like, everything on the good side. Like, the mantises are like that... The mantises are like the medium kill everything. They are killed by everything bigger than them, and they eat everything else. Other than the flowers and the hives. It's suggesting 5 mantises because I only have 5 mantises. But I really need the other thing to be gone. So a lot of it comes down to luck of where the stag ends up, or where the spider ends up, if it can kill the stag. So if the stag can move off to the top left, that'd be better. So here I might actually choose mantises, because they are struggling a bit. And there are only ads every couple of years, so it's not too bad. I could just, like, leave the stag. Problem is it has no lifetime, and the spider is the only thing that kills it. And the spiders are, like, impossible to sustain. There's not... So, just in case, so you can hear me better. The problem is that it's, like... There we go, finally. It's impossible to properly sustain an ecosystem. Because, like, the bees the bees don't reproduce, so you have to keep constantly putting them down again. They don't reproduce, they only produce honey. So you have to keep putting them down over and over and over again. So you have to put a spider down when there's a stag, and, like, because if the, like, spiders could actually last longer and be better if they could be constantly fed by the ants. And the ants could properly do enough stuff, but because the mantises end up all over the map. I have to choose ants now. Because the mantises just end up all over the map, they eat everything. So you end up having a problem where there's just not enough ants. Which, I mean, is debatably a good thing. So then, like, the mantises also end up almost going extinct, so you have to, like, worry about those ones constantly. But, like, if there were more things, if the ants could constantly sustain themselves enough where I could also be buying, like, queen ants, and then they could even more help sustain, and then I could be buying bees after that as well, and honeycombs, or hives and flowers. 'Cause I don't need the hives. I can just use flowers to reproduce if more die. But because those guys end up all over the map, they just constantly eat all my bees and stuff, so the bees aren't worth it. And the spiders die too fast because there's just not enough ants to feed them. If I get a spider here, it shrinks so fast there's just not enough ants to feed it. So it just died out. Like, if you could choose multiple things or something, or if like the ants could actually sustain themselves, but it's just the mantises keep eating them. Also, if the mantises didn't eat the bees, like if we said it was just the spiders and the let's say just the spiders. If it was just the spiders, maybe the stag beetles too, that would eat the don't eat the queen. God damn it. If it was just the spiders and maybe the stag beetles that ate the bees, it would be possible to have them sustaining the ants, which then further sustains the mantises, and then sustains the spider so I can kill the stag easier. But there's no easy way to get a population working. And I'm going to lose here because that one can't reproduce. There's just no one close enough unless one walks into him. Okay, it just barely reproduced in time. That was actually really lucky. I should have been dead there. What year are we on? 30? Turn the volume back up. No. There's like 3 different ways you can leave an ad. There's like the fast forward button, an X button up there, like custom X buttons. You never know where they're hiding the way out. So you sometimes just end up clicking into the Play Store. Just stupid. Like, I never gave permission. I never gave permission to any ad or app to open my Play Store. Shouldn't be allowed to just open it like that. Okay, we got 2 small... So on year 35, you end up with 2 smaller stags down there. So you see in like the top right there area there? There's those 2 medium... There's those 2 ant-sized stags. Okay, I have to choose spider here. I have to try and get rid of the stags. The stags should also, like... I think the stags should die after a certain amount of time. Like, make them die after like a minute or something. I'm hitting the X button. Okay, it looks like I got one of the stags. Please let the one walk into him. No. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep choosing spiders then. And there's like no evolution or anything like some of those other simulations you might see on YouTube. Can I just leave the stag beetles? Is that a bad choice? What if I just try leaving the stags? Yeah. I might try that. Problem is then you also have the mantises being a problem. Man, without the bees, there's just not enough honey spawning anymore. That's another thing, when the map zooms out, the honey is more like further between. It's because it's still only spawning so much honey per second. So you're supposed to like use the bees to produce more honey, but you can't when the mantises constantly eat them. So again, if they just changed it so the mantises didn't eat the bees, that small little change could really make it a lot easier. Because then you could actually properly get, like, just change it so the mantises don't eat the bees, and maybe the stag beetles do eat the bees. I think they might already eat the bees. I'm checking the manual in a moment. Yeah, stag beetles already eat bees. And so, like, just, if they simply made it so the mantises don't eat bees, then that would suddenly make the whole thing, like, sustainable. Like, instead of having it bee into mantis, make it bee into stag. Now there's a big one. Getting them every, like, 5 years now. This is a problem. So, like, if they just made it so the mantises didn't eat the bees could actually sustain the ants, which would then sustain the mantises. And then even the stags, like, I could invest in spiders to get rid of the stags. The other thing is there's, like, no consistent way to get rid of the stags. You're just hoping the spiders get lucky. Investing in mantises will just make the ants go extinct. I have to get rid of the stags. I need the ants just kind of, yeah, grow in that bottom area. Off to the right there, maybe too. So we're still running low on mantises. I can try for a queen ant. There we go. Queen ant got a whole bunch there, now there's a ton of ants going around. Problem is, still, the ants all die so fast. If there's, like, not more food being produced, it's kind of useless anyway. And you do lose if the mantises or ants go extinct, so you kind of just have to keep choosing them.
Man. Let's get it. Alright, let's take this tower.
The problem with the two stags there, please, oh god, the queen walks into the mantises. The ants aren't in the bottom right there enough to be making more ants. Map size up, I didn't need that, I need the stags gone. I think I got the small one there. There's just that one large one there. And the mantises are having trouble. Ah, oh, the stag ate the last one. The stag ate it. It's always the mantises that die. It's always about, like, you can never sustain the mantises. Because, like, eventually the map just ends up so spread out. So the problem with it is, the problem with the ecosystem is, there's like a certain amount of honey that appears per second, but when the map gets bigger, it doesn't start making more honey. So it's really hard to sustain the ant population. You need to start using bees. But if you start using bees, like, I could just click on hives and flowers the whole time, and then bees would work to feed the ants, to feed the mantises, and then we have a sustained population. But I have to, because of the stags, I have to constantly worry about spiders. So I have to buy more spiders. Then the map zooms out, and so there's just less being food. So when the map zooms out, there's less food, so I have to start doing honey. I have to. When the map zooms out, I have to start, like, doing honey, but I also have to worry about the stags. I can't really do both. So if I only had to worry about honey, that would work. If I only had to worry about the stags, because if, like, the mantises couldn't eat the bees, that'd be better. But it zooms out, and then you just start losing ants, because they're just missing the food more, they're just missing the food more often, because the map's so much bigger. So it just gets harder and harder to sustain. And that's the game. That's all it is. So yeah, like right down here now, it's fairly easy to sustain a good population of both. What happens if I get a spider right now? It's just gonna, like, destroy. If I get a spider now, it's probably just gonna make the mantises go extinct or something. I hit there was an X button. Oh yeah, map size up and everything's going extinct. I like my choice of spiders. They seem to work well enough. Yeah, can the ants just feed the mantises a bit more? What if I just only do spiders now? Their population is sustained decently. The ants keep eating enough to be able to reproduce. And then they sustain the mantises. Yeah, so, they're both gonna die because they're just stupid up in the top right corner. Yeah, and there go the mantises. I would like to be able to... Oh, you just unlocked them, even though I died. Sweet. Oh, no, I didn't mean to continue there. Oh well, so, hope you enjoyed. Remember, if you like my content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.